Oh my god. Sup, Reitanna, it's Reitanna Seishin here, and I've got one doozy of a dream to tell you about. No, it wasn't last night, it was night before last, so, the dream would be on the 11th. Okay, so, this was very interesting. Okay. So, okay, for the record, my great-grandfather passed away many years ago. But for some reason, I was in the car with my grandmother, who's usually the one who drives me to, like, my doctor's appointments or something. But she was in the front seat, I was in the back seat, which is a problem because I get car sick. And my grandfather, who had to deal with dementia in the last, I don't know, year or two, maybe 3 of his life, he had dementia and poor eyesight, and you know, when you get older, things can happen and you can't take care of yourself. But he was driving! And I am terrified of driving. Every time I have to get in the freaking car to go somewhere, oh my god. Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment and oh my god, I freaking freaked out. It's okay, like, if there's nobody else on the road, but it just, oh god, it freaks me out. So, I was like, okay, well, no disrespect to my great-grandfather, but he has poor eyesight, his judgment's not too great because of, you know, what happens to your brain when you get older, and the dementia, and I was like, and we were lucky not to hit anything, and I was panicking, and we stopped at a restaurant, and I pulled my grandmother aside and I was like, are you sure he should be the one who's driving us? I mean, you know how I am about cars. And, she's like, oh no, it's fine. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand how not fine it is. Do you understand how badly I'm panicking right now? I am panicking so hard that blah, 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 and I just freaked out and I started having an anxiety attack. And it was to the, what is this? What is this? What is this on my desk? I ate it. It was a chip, okay? I don't know how that got there since I never eat chips at my desk. Anyway. Yesterday was a bad day, so today's making up for it. Anyway, so I started having this attack, and, you know, one of my biggest fears is having an attack in public, so I'm, like, freaking out, and everybody's staring at us, and the restaurant owners are like, I am sorry, but you have to get out, or I will call the police. So, they were French for some reason. So, you know, my grandmother had to pretty much drag me out, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to get in the car! So, but we get in the car, and I'm freaking out because my great-grandfather is driving again. But I guess it was my birthday. I didn't know it was my birthday. And they took me someplace that my grandmother would never, ever, ever consider taking me. Now, I don't know if one of these exists, because it would be really cool if it did. It was a facility. Like, on the outside, it sort of just looks like, an average motel room. But once you get in, it's this huge facility that is for strictly entertainment purposes and is designed to be like the Saw movies. The only difference is you don't actually get hurt, but you have to solve puzzles. Puzzles that, you know, would relatively be dangerous. Of course, all the weapons and stuff are like plastic and blah, 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 but you hear like a jigsaw type voice over, an intercom or whatever. And once you solve the puzzle to get to, the next room, you solve a different puzzle, and so on and so forth. And there were other people in there, and my grandmother's like, happy birthday! And I was like, you forced me to have a panic attack just so you could get me into a saw puzzle. And she was like, yeah, that is so out of character for my grandmother. So she said, I'll pick you up later. And I think Senpai was with me, even though she's never seen any of the Saw movies, and I don't think she would ever want to watch them. It actually took me forever and a day to convince myself to watch them because of, I was turned off by the overhype on how, everywhere you heard about Saw, and there were so many movies, and I didn't understand why there were so many movies, so when I finally started watching them, I'm like, oh, now I get it! So anyway, and there were other people too, and I'm glad that Senpai was with me, because otherwise I wouldn't want to be around these other people, and I wouldn't have fun. But we did have to work together and team up and stuff. There was like 5 other people, and we had to solve a puzzle that had something to do with a lemon. I'm not sure how these puzzles actually went, but it wasn't until we got to a room that looked like an abandoned candy shop. A really spooky abandoned candy shop. Like there were, the furniture and the decorations were all giant plastic candies. There was a bar with candy and stuff, and all the candy was really old, so, you didn't want to eat it or anything. And then they'd have, clowns. I'm not afraid of clowns, but, they are not pleasant to look at. Thank you, it. But, oh, what happened? I think, cause in the puzzles, they were also, you were randomly chosen to play some kind of role or something, and I guess I was chosen to play the role of somebody's wife who got turned into an animatronic, because, that's totally what happens in all of the Saw movies, is everybody knows that's completely it's one of the main plot points. And so, I guess I was turned into this animatronic for this crazy dude, of course, an actor. So, we're doing our thing and shit, and for some reason, okay, I have a bad habit of taking my rats with me everywhere in my dreams, and it always ends up with them being in danger. I don't know why I do it. It is dumb, and I would never do it. And sometimes, I carry them in, a plastic bag or something sealed. Something that would just be the most horrible thing to put 2 living creatures in. But this time, I had their entire cage in a giant garbage bag that I was dragging around, and I wasn't even being careful with it, and I don't know why I do these things in my dreams, because I would never do these things to my rats, ever. I would never take them anywhere with me, unless, we were, moving or something, obviously, and I definitely wouldn't be so careless with them. But I had them with me, and then, I don't fully remember exactly what happened, but there were these guys, what? It turned into something really weird. It turned into, some kind of commercial, but I was there, and we were in this, salon that somehow specializes in sex changes. But it was also, a music video about this girl who was getting a sex change to be turned into a guy. But the sex change wasn't how you normally do it. No, it was some magical thing about, shaving her head or cutting her hair into a boyish way, and there wasn't any surgery involved or anything, and it was the music video was at first, she was singing as a girl, but when she turned into a guy, then she was singing as a guy, and the song was terrible. It was some rap shit or R&B shit, so, one of those crappy things. So I was like, what is going on here? But, I respected the message, whatever it was, because I don't remember the lyrics, and, I was like, I wish we could just magically change gender like that, willingly. Like my gender bend elixir that I made for Encephalon. Whenever you want to, just be the opposite sex for an hour, for a day, who cares? Whatever, fuck you. So, I was thinking about it, and then, like, this guy started feeling me up or something, and I was like, ha 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 ha, that's cute, and then he kept doing it, and I was like, okay, you could stop now, I have a boyfriend, thank you, but then he kept doing it, and I, in my dreams, like I've mentioned before, in my dreams, I am the fucking shit. I am so badass that nobody wants to mess with me. I am strong, I am terrifying, like 10 times more terrifying than I could potentially be in real life, and just fucking the shit. I am the shit, and I wish I was badass like that in real life. That'd be awesome. So I said, and I have this voice that I adopt when I want to be terrifying, and I grabbed him and I said, in this voice, if you fucking touch me again, I swear to God, I will rip your throat out, or something like that, something along those lines. It was an extremely violent threat. And so he stopped. But then I guess he went to a group of his friends or something and complained about how he totally couldn't molest me and that they should all gang up on me or do something to get back at me or something or blah blah blah. So they started, started emotionally abusing me, and I was, I'm fragile, so I'm sitting there, it's like, even though I can be, scary in my dreams, I can also still get upset, and I was getting upset, and then Senpai comes out and says, Kara, your rats, they killed your rats, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, the guy, and she's like, these guys, they killed your rats, they threw them into a fire or something, and I'm like, let me see the cage. So the cage is in this trash bag, and she pulls down the trash bag to reveal the cage, and there are not 2, but 4 rats, because there was Sammy, Tommy, and Rem and Ezio, who often are in my dreams. And so I stared at them, and I'm like, my rats are still there, they're alive. There's 4 of them. Those 2 are dead. This is a dream, you're not real! And so I became lucid, and it's so cool when I become lucid, like, halfway through these dreams, and I realize that it's a fucking dream, and I pointed at the dude who had been the first one to feel me up, and I was like, nope, this isn't happening, and so I was able to take control of my dream, turn the environment from depressing and abandoned, dusty, dark, whatever, into more like a party scene, like a club scene, like how I would imagine Tenji's cafe being, which, by the way, its name is Satisfaction. Oh yeah. So and of course, in my dreams, I can fly. I learned how to fly, took many years. I'll post a link to a blog entry that talks about continuing dreams with storylines. But so I went up to this guy, and I'm not exactly sure what I did to him. I think I took his arms away or something, and I started flying toward everybody, and I would touch them, and I would say, "You're a blah blah blah," or "You're now blah blah blah," and so I took care of all these assholes. And then I was like, and you know what? Fuck this! Snap! I'm a guy! So I turned into this guy who's very similar to Tenji, but instead of being bisexual, I was like flaming gay, like how he acts. And so I was like the owner of this place because, Tenji's cafe, it was pretty much like that, and it was so funny. It was so fun, and I remember, like, conversing with Senpai and stuff, and then there was, like, a male version of my old friend Melanie, we just called him Mel, and I guess we were dating, even though I've never seen Melanie in that sort of way. So I have no idea. But I was really attractive. I always tell people, I'm like, I'm not a very pretty girl, but I make one hell of a hot guy. So, it was just the best part. There are 4 rats, they're alive, those 2 are dead, this is a dream, you're not real! God, it was so funny. But it makes me want to kind of make some kind of facility in Encephalon somewhere that would make you solve saw puzzles. The thing is if it were in Wayward City, you would possibly be in danger. But it's not really something that would fit in the other 2 quadrants, so I don't know. Maybe something that could get you hurt, but not something that could get you killed. I don't know, I'll think about it, I don't even know. So yeah, hooray for lucid dreaming. I can never control when I'm lucid dreaming. It happens on its own. Either I realize something's not right, or I just mention that, like, if I'm walking and I'm having trouble walking, I'll apologize to whatever dream projection my self-conscious brings up, and I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble walking. I for some reason, I can't walk in my dreams. Or, like, I learned how to fly periodically through years of dreaming. Or my teeth will fall out, and I'm like, yeah, this happens when you're dreaming, and it means that you're self-conscious or whatever. And there was one where I was trying to find my cell phone, and my projections were trying to convince me that it was a dream, and I was looking around, and I'm like, really? Because this looks really weird. Where's my cell phone? And one of my projections handed me a cell phone, but it was like this huge block of warped plastic. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is totally on my cell phone. Looks, I'm dreaming. Wake me up. Wake me up. And I usually do this when I'm lucid. I'm having a bad lucid dream or a nightmare. I will try yelling or screaming to try and get myself to yell in real life so that either I wake myself up or Mike hears me and wakes me up. It doesn't work often because I'll ask Mike, was I yelling or anything in my sleep? No. God damn it! And it'll often happen where I'm like, Michael, wake me up! Michael, wake me up! And I'm screaming for Mike to wake me up, but I can't. It's like I scream out loud. I scream myself awake when I'm not lucid dreaming. When I'm lucid, my whatever is just trying to keep me there when I want to be woken up. So I don't know. It's bullshit, but yeah, it's wow. So I just thought I'd share that because I thought it was funny. Yeah, leave a like on this video. I will leave, I'm gonna leave links in the description to my blog that has to do with dreams, in case you're interested. And if you want to hear me talk about more dreams, there's a playlist on my channel titled Dream Journal, and that is where those are. So yeah, I will see you later, alligators and crocodiles. Have a good day. Bye!